Boulder bubble, and which is the mecca of sustainability and kind of new age business models. I'm curious if you see any other companies around town or companies you work with that are unique or creative in their approach to solving some of the different problems that we're looking at, you know, like global warming or creating a more sustainable model.
I think there's a lot. You know, obviously we have a huge wind farm here, so a lot of my businesses have bought into the wind farm and have gotten away from, say, Excel bills and would prefer to pay, you know, wind energy. Solar energy, of course, on the restaurants and stuff like that is a big help. One of my best friends, he has a great business. I saw him struggle being a telemarketer for many, many years, and all of a sudden he realized that if everybody's going to have all these cell phones, which everybody has, you're constantly shutting phones all the time. And what do you do with those old cell phones? I can speak for me personally. I have about 4 old cell phones in some drawer around here, and I think everybody else probably has old cell phones. So what he does is he takes all these cell phones and buys them from people or gets them donated from people, and then he sells them on, again, an open auction lot to back to the companies in China and South Korea, because I guess the molding plastic cases of cell phones are very expensive to make, and a lot of those cell phone companies would prefer to refurbish these phones. So he sells them back to the company for a price, and he makes a great living and, you know, saves the environment. I think it's a wonderful business practice.
Yeah, that's I wonder, I'm curious if any people have checked out Cradle to Cradle. It's a book about products starting from being born, basically, and cycling through forever and always being able to be recycled. Because many recyclable products can only be recycled for several times. And so I would be curious to know about the material that's used in those cell phones and how many times that can be reused, or if there is actually go ahead.
There's actually 10% precious metals in every phone. So the other company he owns is a silver company. And what they do is they'll strip out all the silver, copper, and gold out of these cell phones and actually eventually start making silver and gold coins. And so they take the coins and then resell them. Yeah, this is amazing amount of precious metals in phones. I know that. You host a bike repair shop, and what a great business. However, here in Boulder, Colorado, I think I have about 30 of them just around my house alone.
Well, you'd have to. Probably Amsterdam, too. That's the other place that I've seen more bicycles than Boulder, actually. The other day, I was up in Boulder, and I saw, it was freezing. It was probably, 10 degrees, and I saw it was dusk, and the sun was going down, so it was getting even colder, and I saw up in Table Mesa a whole group of like 20 people all taking a jog together, and I was like, only in Boulder would these crazy people get out and do this in the freezing, bitter winter for fun.
Yeah, you're definitely a little overly health conscious here.
That's funny. Yeah, growing up in Boulder, it's such a, like I said before, it's such a bubble, and you know that. As soon as you kind of exit outside of the Boulder village, there's a lot of different things happening, There's different ethnicities that you never saw. Yeah. Yeah, different ethnicities that you never even knew existed, and yeah, it's a whole different world. My mom and I relate to it as kind of a God realm, meaning almost like heaven on earth, because the flowers on Pearl Street never die. They dig them up before they even die, so you never have to see death or anything bad.
It's been a privilege growing up here, but yeah, it's also been a privilege to travel and understand all that stuff,
Yeah. It's a delightful place to live, but I think it's definitely a place that it's absolutely necessary to explore beyond it.
Yeah, Alex, I try to get out as much as humanly possible.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, we have about 10 minutes left on the show, and if there's anything else you want to touch on, we could go back into your businesses a little bit and your greater vision for what you want to create, or if it's in line with your passion and your kind of the way you want to move into the future, and if you find you have something else that you're looking at, or if this is really where you want to be.
Well, Asia, shout out to you, because I don't know if any of your customers know that you used to work for me at one of my coffee shops, and how proud I am of how far you've come in your business world. I think it's a good example of kind of carpe diem and doing what you want to do, and finding the avenue to be able to do that is a real privilege. It's a gift to be able to have. I can't tell you out of the 60 or so people I have on my payrolls how many of them don't have any other ambition really but to just be on my payroll for any given time. I have people that have worked for me for 12 years at a time, and I often ponder their mentality sometimes. That I love them to death and I appreciate everything they do, but I really would like everybody to desire more and try to do what they want to do in the world more than what I want them to do at my job.
Yeah, and this is something that I don't know if you have any insights about it, but how is it that we lose our dreams, or we can't clarify what they are I think a lot of it comes through the media telling us what we need to do, and our friends and family telling us what we need to do, and it becomes so jumbled we don't have a clear sense of who we really are. But, how is it, what could we do to actually help people see who they truly are so they can find the place that they really should be in the world, or the place that they could be of the most benefit? Is there anything you can do?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. I think that in a lot of the consulting and a lot of classes I've taught, I think people are pretty astounded with just the general age at which I am, and how my mind shifted at being a teenager is when my mind shifted into doing what I wanted to do. It's really funny, the entrepreneurial fever is not for everybody, and some people should stay the hell away from it, actually. It's not exactly the road less easily traveled, for sure. I think that there's a funny story that just happened to me actually this month, where after 5 years I was pretty much ready to sell my restaurant and do something else with my life. I was actually really looking forward to it, and I found these people that have been wanting to buy it for a long time, and after many years we came to an agreement on the price, and we went through all the red tape, and we had the contracts written up, and all the contracts went through all the lawyers, and we were just about ready to sit down and sign these papers. In fact, I showed up with the pen and ready to sign these papers. And at the signing table, they told me that they wanted an additional $40,000 off the asking price. And it turns out, thinking about it and reflecting on it, obviously the deal did not go through, and I'm very thankful for that, because I do love my restaurant. But it turns out it's not so much the price. It wasn't so much any of that. It was their fear that was really holding them back from taking that step. They just needed the assurance that every little thing was going to be taken care of, because they were so afraid of something not being taken care of. And that's what it takes to be an entrepreneur, is really adjusting constantly and facing those things that aren't taken care of, and doing it yourself.
Yeah, there's a huge risk factor that's involved, and not everybody can take that giant leap of faith.
Yeah, I was lucky to be young and stupid, so I didn't know any better, and here I am today.
I think, getting in early while you are young and stoopy, kind of like Snoopy, no, but if you're young and stupid at an early age, and you get into the entrepreneurial world. Yeah, right. But if you come from that ground of just not knowing what else to do and just leaping, it can be easier than I think when you're older and your habits have been more established throughout your lifetime and trying to start something. And I have so much respect